Hello, Lawrence Township students and families. This video was created for 3rd grade during the week of May 4th. Our focus will be Humanities, and this is Lesson 3. In this lesson, we will revisit the idea that plants grow almost everywhere on the planet. Plants are so important to life on Earth that without them we could not survive. They have survival needs just like we do. We'll take a look at different types of plants and what they need to survive. For the next few weeks, we will be studying both nonfiction and fiction texts to help us understand why plants are such an important part of life here on Earth. Your learning targets include distinguishing between fact and opinion and explaining how an author uses reasons and facts to support specific points in a text. We will write effectively for a variety of tasks and purposes and construct an argument that plants and animals have internal and external structures that function to support their survival, growth, behavior, and reproduction. For task number 1, students will read a nonfiction section of our science text about what plants need to survive. First, we will read pages A2 and A3 and A6 and A7. Reread this text several times to practice reading it more fluently. Then, reread to make sure you understand the information presented in the text. Third, you will underline parts of the text that reinforce something that you learned when we read Miss Johnson's plant experiment, which told us about how plants grow and what they need to survive. Students will be successful when they have read the science text and underline parts of the text that reinforced your knowledge of what plants need to survive. This is our science text for today, and if you would like to listen to me reading it with you, you can skip to the end of the video. For task number 2, students will use what they've learned in Miss Johnson's plant experiment and the science text from today to write facts and/or opinions about how plants survive during the different seasons. First, think about what you have learned in both texts that you have read this week about what plants need to survive. Then, fill out the table about outdoor plants in the season of winter and plants in the season of spring. You will use this to write a good paragraph in task number 3. Students will be successful when they use what they know about winter and spring to write facts about what plants need and how they survive, and they will share their own opinions about plants in the winter and spring. This is the table that we will be using for task number 2, and we can see here that in the first row, here, we can see that we're going to write about facts. We're going to write facts about plants. So we're going to write facts about plants in winter and facts about plants in the springtime. Then in the second row down below, this is our row for opinions. Remember, an opinion is something that you believe and it comes from your heart. It is not necessarily a fact. You cannot argue if it's right or wrong. It is just your opinion, like your favorite color or your favorite food. So these are opinions down here, what you think about plants during the seasons. So how do you feel about them in the winter and the spring? That might be that plants are much more beautiful in the springtime because of the nice weather. Or you don't like plants in the wintertime because it's too cold. That is what we're thinking about here with opinions. For task number 3, students will use what they have learned in Miss Johnson's plant experiment and the science text from today to answer a writing prompt using facts and opinions to support your thinking. First, you will think about what you have learned in both texts that you have read this week about what plants need to survive. You can also use your table or the graphic organizer that you created for task 2. Then you are going to write a good 3rd grade level paragraph using correct punctuation, capitalization, and 3rd grade spelling to answer the prompt at the top of the page. You will be successful when you write a good informational paragraph, including at least 3 facts and 3 opinions about which seasons you think farmers are the busiest, in using details from the text to support your answers. Here we can see the space where we will write our paragraph, and the prompt above says, based on what you have learned about what plants need to survive, which season or seasons do you think farmers are the most busy in? Use facts and opinions to support your thinking. You should write 5 to 7 sentences, and include proper capitalization, punctuation, and spelling as you can. Don't forget at the end to go back and check your paragraph before submitting to your teacher. For task number 4, students will complete their DLR for the day. They will be successful when you can correctly answer at least 5 out of 6 boxes on your DLR. Here we can see our daily language review. First, in the first box, we need to find which word has a prefix. Then we need to find which word comes first in alphabetical order. In the third box, we need to find which word is spelled correctly and best completes the sentence. In the fourth box, we need to find the adjective. Remember from yesterday that an adjective is a word that describes a noun. In the fifth box, we need to correct the sentence. It is missing some proper capitalization and punctuation, and we need to fix it. In the last box, I would like you to read the sentence and circle if it is a fact or an opinion. The next few slides provide you with visuals and support to ensure that you are successful with each task. Here we can see more of the academic vocabulary that we need to know in order to read our text for today. Let's read our science text for the day. We are starting in chapter 1 in this textbook, and it is called Types of Plants. Some of the vocabulary we will see is root, stem, leaf, cell, simple plant, seed, germinate, seedling, photosynthesis, and chlorophyll. Plants grow almost everywhere on Earth. Plants come in many sizes. Some are tall, like oak trees. Others are smaller, like rose bushes. But each plant has the same basic needs. These needs must be met in order for the plant to live and grow. Down below, in the fast fact on the first page, we can see that duckweed floats on the tops of ponds and quiet streams. It is the smallest flowering plant in the world. Duckweed is only 0.06 of a millimeter tall, whereas saguaro is 15 meters tall, bamboo is 30 meters tall, and redwood is 113 meters tall. The fast fact on the second page says that the largest cactus is the saguaro. It can be 50 feet tall and can weigh 14,000 pounds. In fact, it would take about 200 8-year-olds to match the weight of one giant saguaro. Wow! What plants need? Plants are living things. They live in places all over the world. Plants grow in deserts, in rainforests, and in your backyard. But no matter where they grow, all plants need the same things to live. As you learned in the investigation, these things include water and light. Plants also need soil and air. Most plants live and grow without human care. They get what they need from the sun, the air, the rain, and the soil. Different kinds of plants need different amounts of these things. For example, a cactus needs very little water. Other plants, such as water lilies, need a lot of water. This is why the kinds of plants in one place may be very different from those in another place. So as a check, think in your head, what 4 things do all plants need? Down below in the pictures, we can see that the sun provides plants with light, and the other caption says that rain gives plants the water they need. In the photo down below, it says that these bluebonnets and Indian paintbrush flowers get what they need to live from nature. Plant parts. A tall oak tree looks very different from a daisy. A rose bush looks different from a dandelion. Yet all these plants have the same parts. The roots of a plant are underground, where you often don't see them. A stem connects the roots with the leaves of a plant and supports the plant above ground. You may have seen a thin green stem on a flower. The thick, woody trunk of a tree is also a stem. Leaves are plant parts that grow out of the stem. Most plants have many leaves. How does water in the soil get to a plant's leaves? If we start with our captions for our photos, up at the top, it says that roots, stems, and leaves are parts of a plant. They help the plant get what it needs to live. The stem carries water and nutrients from the roots to the other parts of the plant. Leaves take in the air and light a plant needs. And finally, roots hold a plant in the ground. They take in water and nutrients from the soil. There is a photo there with a caption that says, "Soil contains the nutrients plants need." If needed, watch this video again as you work on the tasks in this lesson. Please be reminded to submit your work to your classroom teacher.